Hi, Lax Coach Mike here, laxcoachmike.com. In this brief video, we're going to start to introduce our concept on adjacent slides for lacrosse coaches. A lot of coaches love to slide from the crease or slide coma. We really coach adjacent slides, and we've got a couple of videos loaded here in YouTube to show you how this works. But the first one is we want to slide from the midi down where he is attacking the stick on the outside shoulder, and this starts to begin our philosophies on adjacent slides. I hope you enjoy. laxcoachmike.com.
Able to slide adjacent and from the crease depending on the situation, or
Yeah, this one we may need to override me on. My defensive philosophy is, I predominantly slide adjacent. Okay? And before we get into the variations, let me tell you why and how we talk about it and how we coach it. Number one, I hate to leave anybody open on the crease under any circumstances. And we always teach our guys, if you don't know where to go far side pipe. Good things happen. Good things happen at the far side pipe. We talk about it all the time. They can bounce you the ball. They can roll it. Could be an errant pass. If the guy gets doubled, he can almost get hit and almost just push the ball your direction, and the goalie's over here and you get an easy shot, Number one. Number two, so I slide adjacent so that we always have the crease covered. Number two, if you like the V, it's consistent with the V. And number three, first time we met, I told you I was crazy, right? And I do stuff other coaches don't do.
Yeah.
Here's my last philosophy. We rarely, if ever, slide at all when a guy drives from up top. Now, this is a philosophy that I got from some college coaches, this part of it. This is all, me. College coaches will mix up their slide packages.
Right.
They'll slide coma, they'll slide crease, they'll slide this. And with Copperheads this last year, defenses played together so long, there's so many great players, I allow them to do that. Okay? But basically, let's go in reverse order here. So if a guy has the ball up here, we're constantly working on getting our cross outside shoulder to force the guy to go here. And we want this guy to continue to run and run and run, and we're going to spend a lot of time in practice on forcing him to run to the outside and throw back and try and shoot across his body here. And we're going to trust that in practice, this shot is not going to kill us. Now, if this defenseman plays one-on-one, right, and this guy goes here and then comes rolling back into a shot either with a hitch, a split, or a roll dodge, we're in trouble, okay? And in that case, we will slide adjacent from this midi here over and play this defenseman soft and leave this midi on the far outside open. I'll get there in a second, don't worry. Really what we're concerned about is this. Okay? Really what we're concerned about is this. Consequently, we slide with mostly our middies defensively. So when this attackman is coming this way, the reason this is really important is, there's a lot of reasons why it's important, obviously, but one of the primary reasons that it's so important is it affects the way we play defense on this guy. Okay? Now, if I want him to come into this slide, we always want to push the guy into the slide. I want his stick, this attackman stick, to be on the outside. Does that make sense? Now, I played defense till I was 38, you know, pro, semi-pro, NCAA tournaments, so on and so forth. To me, the toughest move to defend when a guy is coming from behind is an inside roll. We used to coach goal line extended here. And I have some drills, maybe we'll do some offensive, defensive drills tomorrow just so I can show them to you. We now teach these guys not to do anything until they come 5 yards above goal line extended. Because goalies are being trained to come out of the cage now more than they ever were before, and they're more athletic. We used to put the fat kid with the glasses in the cage. Now the goalies are great athletes, okay? Anyway, but the toughest move is, for me, personally, you know, when you're trying to cover this guy and you're sprinting as much as you can possibly sprint, and he gets up here and you're running hard this way, and he rolls back inside roll, especially if he's 5 yards north of the cage, you know, the goalie is kind of looking here, you know, what happens is there's a big hunk of the cage that gets left open on the inside pipe, and the inside roll, you know, when I'm working so hard to run with the guy this way, and then all of a sudden he rolls back this way and shoots it, you know, to me that's the hardest thing to cover.
Right.
So partially because of my personal bias and my personal experience, you know, we want and I have a hard time with copperheads because none of their coaches coach this way. So they have to play totally different when they play for me. You know, when this guy drives here, you know, we're actually going to keep our stick on his back hip. Now, if I'm convinced he's going to shoot, I'm going to try and lift. But I want him to come into this slide because I want him, let's say the cage is right in front of me here. So now I'm an attackman coming around like, should brought my stick in. I'm an attackman coming around like this. You know, I want the defensive stick on my hip until I go to touch that bottom hand, because if the slide is coming from here, I want the slide coming to the stick on the outside.
Right.
Okay? And that's one less step in capturing the ball that I even need to be concerned about. Number one. Number two, if I have my stick here, the way most of the coaches in the lab coach it, and one is not right and one is not wrong. They're different philosophies. You know, if I have my stick on the outside, I'm encouraging him to inside roll. So if the coma slide or the crease slide is coming here, he's now rolling back away from the slide.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know, at least my way might be more dangerous, but at least we're driving the guy's stick into the slide. If the slide is coming from the crease here, right, and I've got my stick here, I'm now, by the nature of where I put my stick, I'm encouraging him to inside roll away from the slide.
Yeah, makes perfect sense.
Now, most coaches say that if he's going to come up high here, he's going to inside roll and then go to the cage. Well, I don't really coach that. I don't know any coach that coaches that, okay? And even so, if the slide is coming from here, you know, he's still got the ball on the outside shoulder.
Hi, Lax Coach Mike here. We're trying to keep these videos within the YouTube time frame. So if you want to see some more on our defensive schemes and this adjacent slide package, check out some of our other videos, part 2 here on YouTube on the adjacent slides defensive philosophies. Thanks again, Lax Coach Mike, laxcoachmike.com.